Hello everybody, this is Adam from Wheel Guns for Wheelmen, and today we're going to be discussing customer service experiences. And the reason for this is my Girsan Regard at around the 1,000 round mark lost one of the 4 grip screws. See, there's screw, now you just got the bushing in here, but screw jiggled itself out, and then when inspected, the 2 screws on this side were very loose and had walked themselves loose. In my experience, loose screws on pick rails, front sights, now grips is pretty common for Turkish guns because they don't believe in Loctite in Turkey, and they can't be bothered to torque it down to the correct specs. But how's their customer service? We're going to be getting into a number of companies, but we're going to start off with Girsan. So I sent them a little message because I don't have a way to call them. They just say, type in this little box what your thing is. It's not even an email. And I typed it in and I sent it out on June 12th. And on June 14th, apparently, without telling me, they asked for my address and I told them the part number I needed and what went wrong. They never got back to me, but they had my address and apparently that's all they needed. And they took me at my word that their screw jiggled loose, probably because I'm not the first person to tell them that. And they sent me the box just 2 days after receiving my letter. I've not opened the box, but I'm assuming there's at least one, if not a whole set of screws in there. And I got the box on the 16th, so 2 days after they sent it from Florida, so they sent it like 2-day mail. Pretty good customer service, assuming it's not a box of rocks or something. Not them telling me to go pound sand. We got nice. So they sent 2 screws and a bushing, which is actually what I asked them for. I said, why don't you send me a couple of screws and a bushing in case it goes loose? So they actually didn't send me a full set of screws like I expected, or a single set of, or just a single screw like my other expectation. They actually followed my suggestion, which is it was an actual unboxing, so I'm actually surprised because that's pretty odd. Repair details. Sent out 2 grip screw and 1 bushing. Done as a courtesy. Nice. I will give them 5 out of 5 stars. This is actually extremely surprising. Not only that they got back to me so quickly without even telling me, just put it in the mail. Didn't require any proof or anything. They took the serial number, I guess. That's probably all they need. But, yeah, it's actually really surprising. Anyways, I titled this The Good, the Bad, the Ugly because there is, in fact, some bad blood between me and one company. And one company was just rubbed me a little bit the wrong way. But for the most part, gun companies have good customer service in my experience. I've had a Henry lever action that I had to send back for repair. They paid for the shipping. I shipped it. They had a 72-hour, had it for 72 hours, shipped it back out, and they had replaced the extractor, polished the feed ramp, and corrected the issue. The issue was it wouldn't feed 38 special rounds, only 357 Magnum, because the casings were short and the feed ramp was a little rough and it kept hanging up. And I tried to force it and blew the extractor off. It gave before anything else did. And so, yeah, Henry had good customer service. TriStar also paid for the shipping, had me ship it to Kansas City. They also had it for less than 72 hours, and they fixed a broken firing pin that broke on the first shot. Again, Turkish shotguns, not the best quality, but good customer service. You also have Savage. I had a magazine break within the first 50 rounds. One of the little rivets came loose and it just kind of boop, and all the rounds went flying like a fountain. And I called them, I told them that. The guy was like, yeah, we get this all the time. Mags are cheaply made. Like, he was pretty honest, and he's like, I don't need pictures, man. And he just sent it out. Same thing, like 2 days later. I got it like 3 days after that. So again, good customer service, very similar to my experience just now with Girsan, which I think the company would be EAA Corporation because they're the importer technically. So good on them. Now the bad would be Kel-Tec. Kel-Tec did what they needed to do. They got my gun fixed. It was a broken firing pin in a Kel-Tec CMR 30. It's no 22 Magnum. Firing pin broke. It happens. But the process was just annoying, man. Like, you have this customer service department rep who also, I think, was maybe a gunsmith or someone in the actual repair department, as opposed to like Palmetto State Armory. I called them for something. The lady I talked to sounded like an 18-year-old girl, had no idea about anything about ARs. Don't know why you'd hire her, but she was good customer service, and she got me what I needed, but she had to like ask around and get back to me because she had no idea what the parts were called, and no one really taught her apparently. This is the opposite. The person here I talked to sounded like they had no customer service experience whatsoever, but they did know guns very well. But their customer service attitude was complete shit at Kel-Tec. Guy was rude. Two, they have sloppy records keeping apparently, and they don't know their own standard operating procedures between people, because I called someone at Kel-Tec. They said, look, you're gonna have to pay for it, the shipping yourself, and we'll reimburse you. Tell me what you want. Put in a letter in the box with the gun where you want the letter sent to, because we have to have the gun sent from an FFL so we can return it to an FFL, which is not true. Have not had to do that with any other full firearms that I've sent out, the Henry or the TriStar. They shipped it right back to my door with adult signature required, mind you, but if it's your gun, they don't have to ship it back to an FFL, nor does it have to be shipped from one. You just go down to UPS or FedEx and ship it out. Just make sure you follow those companies' rules. But Kel-Tec was insistent that they had to, company SOPs, whatever, have me go down to my local pawn shop, who, as a courtesy, since I do a lot of business there, shipped it out for me and got it back for me and called me all for free. Didn't charge me a transfer fee because they didn't actually have to do the federal background check or anything. They were just handling it. I paid the shipping. I sent them a letter saying, please send the check to my address, because if they get a check from Kel-Tec, if it has my name on it, they might know who it is, depending on who at the pawn shop opens it. But send it to my mailbox and send the gun back there. And they had said on the phone that'd be what they would be doing. But I get the gun back. They call me down at the pawn shop. It's fixed. Doesn't have a repair note saying what was replaced. I wanted to make sure it was a broken firing pin that was the issue and nothing else was wonky about it, headspace or anything. So I called them and I said, hey, one, I don't have my check. Never got in the mail. And two, what did you do to fix it? And they're like, well, we don't really keep track of what we do to fix things. We just fix them and send them out, which I'm like, okay, I think you'd keep better records of what was wrong with the guns that you get in. But two, they said they did send the check, and they told me the address they sent it to, and it was the pawn shop. So I went back, and they had sent it there, but the person who got it, as suspected, didn't know my name by heart. And so when he got the check, independent from the gun, he was like, why are we getting a check from Kel-Tec for one, and two, why is it who's Adam? And so I had to go down to the pawn shop to pick up the check. Pawn shop was great throughout. But Kel-Tec, just the whole process, kind of annoying. The people's attitudes, both people, different people, pretty rude, especially since it's their own stupid policies that made everything so complicated. Now the ugly is Winchester. I will never do business with Winchester. I won't buy their rifles. I'm not going to buy their shotguns. I'm not going to buy their ammo especially. I had a box of 50 rounds of 22 Magnum, which I actually put through the Kel-Tec CMR 30. And of the box of 50, I had no fewer than 10 dud rounds, or rounds that were so heavily dented and like bent, like the whole casing was bent or dented in, I didn't feel safe using them. I had like 3 of those. I took pictures of my receipt. One of the rounds had really hot charge and like blew back hot gases. Like, it was just really bad batch of ammo. I threw away the box when I was done because I was like, why would I keep the box? I have my receipts and the pictures. They said they wanted me to send in the rounds and I had to have the lot number off the box. One, I'm not sending bad ammo that's still live technically with gunpowder in it in the mail. And two, why would I keep it around? I'm gonna leave it in the dirt at the range, right? Or in a dud box if you have it at like an indoor range. And why would I think of keeping the box? I have my receipt. They're like, that's not good enough, sir. It was like a $5 box of ammo at the time, right? Like, that's all it would have cost him out of pocket. Probably less, right? Because, like, probably cost him pennies on the dollar, you know, $1 or $2, send me 50 rounds. But I went back and forth in emails up the chain, and they were just insistent that have to have the lot number off the box. If I don't have the box, or at least a picture of that part of the box, they can't do anything. And they want to see the rounds and the casings, not just pictures of them. I had pictures that I sent them. They wanted the actual things. I was like, this is ridiculous. So I was like, fine, screw you. So I won't do business with them anymore, because if they're going to act like that over $2 of material cost to them, which they probably spent more going back and forth with me on personnel cost, they're going to act like that over a $2 cost. What are they going to do if your lever action breaks, right? They're going to try to hustle you. They're going to try to be like the insurance companies and find a technicality for why they don't have to do it. It's bullshit. Never seen customer service that bad in my life. So I will not use Winchester or anything. Anyways, that's my experiences with different gun companies. I'm very pleased with EAA and Girsan. Please like and subscribe.